Hello, and welcome to the Automation of J's project. I'm Ibrahima, and here we go. So I'm going to start with our template project plan, which is just a template for the project, and it's a plan. All right, so the scope. All right, so we have an automatic order management system. We have a table management system. So the point is to automate a restaurant called J's using software engineering skills. And so, the automatic order management system will just be a terminal or, will inplace tablets that have software that will allow, wait staff to enter customer orders quickly and effectively and efficiently, and will send those orders to the kitchen, right? And the table management system will be for the hosts, where they'll be able to see which tables are clean and which ones are dirty and available. So they'll inform the customer of whatever needs to be, informed of. The busboys will be able to see the same things the hosts do, except they have, the ability to alter the status of the tables from clean to dirty, or, only from dirty to clean, because waiters will have the ability to change it from clean to dirty or occupied. So yes, and revenue analysis. So this is a pretty big thing for the scope, which is like, the software will be providing a lot of useful information for not only just the managers or those in charge of the restaurant J's, but also the paying customer who comes every day. And just to list a few examples of what the manager will be benefiting from this revenue analysis is stuff like the average turnaround time, like from the average time it takes for a customer who walks in and then walks out, and there's a lot of stuff you can do with this data to ultimately make your restaurant better. Also, the most popular item. The system will be keeping track of all of this data and sorting it into what's necessary for or useful for the manager to analyze, right? So which item menu is most popular? Maybe if it's ridiculously popular, they could raise the price and make more money, right? Personnel efficiency. It would also provide, which wait staff has the lowest average turnaround time, or even personnel satisfaction. They can optimize their restaurant operations. Yep, just what I said. The technology will provide prep time, enabling management to locate obstacles in the kitchen and boost productivity, right? That's the main goal, to automate this and make it more efficient and better for J's. Okay, so objective. Yeah, we kind of talked about this already. The solution: coordinate their efforts, right? Low, high, identify trends. Yes, we talked about this. And it also does include limitations, right? And it can't just replace a human touch. I mean, sure, we're doing great things by providing all this information that can make the restaurant a lot better and efficiently and, move smooth. And just provide overall better customer satisfaction, but we can't replace the human touch just yet. It's 2023, maybe in a few years or something. So this is the schedule for getting this implemented and working and running and doing everything it's supposed to be. Obviously, when creating this, the actual workload and progress is not applicable, but this can all be updated since it's done now. But it will be broken down into personal efficiency analysis, implementing and testing the software, the turnaround analysis, the system design, architecture, user training, and maintenance, which is never ending. It's ongoing. To be honest, I haven't been doing a great job of keeping up with the due dates, just because I have a lot of other stuff to do. But it's all done, and I guess that's all that matters. Here's a Gantt chart, which is basically just showing what this schedule shows, but it's more visual. You can see the weeks here and what's supposed to be done by the time this week is over, and it shows how much time you have allocated to do all of these things. And each task has an ID, which is pretty cool, which helps you communicate with your team. Gantt chart is just, useful for the eye. You can see where you are visually and what needs to be done, All right, team organization, team roles, me. I've done everything from data collection to implementation and documentation and maintenance. This is my resume. It's kind of a cringy resume, but it looks better now. I think I took these 2 lines out and I combined this line with this line, I believe, and then I added some experience. I got rid of all of this. It looks better now is the point, but yeah, this is me. And here's a technical description of the project, right? So yes, like we said, there'll be terminals set throughout the restaurant for different personnel to use, whether they are hosts, busboys, or servers, and even managers. And maintenance. The log screen will be intuitive, right? And each person or worker, personnel will have a card that they can swipe just to make things a lot easier. And they do also have the option to, input their username and password just in case they don't have their card for that day, just in case they might be a new employee and don't have a specialized card yet, or whatever the case may be. And there also is a forget password link, because we're dealing with humans here. Graphical indicators, yes. And there are also there's also a notification bell on the top right of the screen that can show whoever is logging in outstanding tasks they have to do, or it can show them information that the manager wants everybody to see, or upcoming events, or whatever the case may be. Right, and so selection screens is different, obviously, depending on who is accessing it. Right, but the initial login screen looks the same for everybody, regardless of maintenance or server or manager. It looks the same, but as after they swipe their card or log in using username and password, they'll see different screens, obviously. All right, and so yes, the host will be able to view which tables are ready to seat guests. If they're red, based on the turnaround data collected, there'll be a calculated wait time that takes into consideration how long the busboys take to clean tables, which is being captured. All this data is being captured, right? There's the average turnaround time for customers to eat and pay the bill and leave, and then there's the time calculated as well for the average busboy from when the customer leaves to how long it takes them to clean and turn the table to green for the next set of customers to be seated. Yep, and so like I said earlier, right, the busboys only have the option to set the table back to clean. As soon as the server, runs their card and they pay and they finalize it, that's when a table is set to dirty. From yellow, which yellow means occupied. Hope that makes sense. Employees may also use this card to clock in and clock out, right, which will save the restaurant money. They don't have to drag their feet to clock out. I used to do that. Hardware and software, right? Yeah, we talked about this. You need a dependable internet connection, a database management system, and OS that can run the software. Yes. The UI is responsible to various screen size and resolutions. Future plans to allow personnel to use their phones. Yes. Data management plan. Both customers and managers have access to specific information that is pertinent to their responsibilities. They get information about their orders, any special requests they may have. Yes. Managers have access to a large variety of data. Yes, we definitely talked about that. Revenue percentage for each item, reports on menu item, staff, productivity, turnaround time, preparation times, automatically gathered. Also, like least popular menu items, satisfaction rates. Right. They can see how many customers are there right now, whether or not each table is filled, dirty or clean, how each order is progressing. Managers also have a card, but they also have an extra layer of security. The unit testing, integration testing, and system testing are just a few of the several phases, right? And so a thorough training program is in place to guarantee that restaurant staff members are adept using the system, but this is also going to be automated. So it's not going to be something that's you sit down and the manager is going to tell you how to use it, or no. It's going to be efficient and automated. And it can also be found in the notification section for a newly hired employee. It can be found in that section. Safe data. I think that's pretty much it for the document. I don't want to spend too much time there. Alright, so functional requirements include order management system, right? We talked about this. Non-functional requirements, usability, security, which includes easy to use interface, intuitive, user-friendly, performance, no glitches, delays, security, it's secure, delicate data is, guarded from unwarranted access, right? So use case diagram, a server would, enter a customer's order, send it to the kitchen. They can view the status. A host will see which tables are available and seat guests. The kitchen will get the order slip. They'll look at it. They'll make the order, and the server will come back and deliver it. The busboys will mark tables as clean. I'm just gonna delete that. Yeah. And managers can view prep time, turnaround time. Here's a use case of events. So here's how it will go. The personal card, the waiter logs in. The customer they're serving, they choose the number table, they input their order. The kitchen gets the order, they make the order. The server gets the food, brings it to the customer, and confirms the delivery. And the waiter logs off the computer for the next server to come and do the exact same process, rinse and repeat. Here's an alternate flow. So just in case the waiter doesn't have their card, they can log in using their username and password. For number 3, it says the server inputs the menu item the guests have selected, right? Imagine a menu item isn't available. Then the wait staff would have to go let the kitchen know, and the customer gets an alternative or just cancels their order overall, right? 5 as well, verifies that it has received the order. Again, if they input an order that is not available at the time, then it's not able to be prepared, and so that would be another alternate flow. Number 7, the wait staff member confirms the delivery. The wait staff can alert the kitchen and find a solution if the meal is not brought to the appropriate table. Mistakes happen. It's still humans we're dealing with. Here's a good UML diagram for implementation, and my apologies, this arrow should be pointing to the employee, because the employee is like a super class for server, busboy, and host. They will have all of these attributes. Every type of employee. This is an abstract class. It cannot be instantiated. So what is instantiated is children of this class, either server, busboy, or host. Right? You have to be one of these type of employees. You can't just be generic employee. And all of these will inherit all these attributes and methods. Work, clock out, clock in, age, salary, will inherit those, right? Superclass, right? Abstract instances of this class that share common attributes, what we just talked about. There's a standalone class for the manager. He's not an employee, nor does he share any common methods with the employees. He's a solo dolo. Here's a good ER diagram for what we just explained, except for this is implemented into code and this is implemented into database, but it's pretty similar. What this D means is just disjoint, meaning that when implemented, it cannot just be employee. It must be server, busboy, or host. And employee has mandatory one manager. Manager has many maintenance. Here's a decision table, this is a state transition diagram. All right, here's my sprint 1, the first prototype. This is just something that it would look like that's in alignment with our views. Something very basic. This is just a simple prototype. All right, and here I made an order slip. This is what it would look like. You have your table, you have your host, you have your order. The kitchen would see this and make the order. Here's what a receipt would look like that I also made. Here's Jay's restaurant. You have all your necessary information. You have your subtotal. You have your, everything that you need to know. You have your tip, total plus equals. Here's some more screen layouts. Here's what manager will be able to see. They will be able to see all this information, the average order, total orders for just today, and they'll have the year to date. They'll have options to do all of these things. Here's a class employee. Here are their attributes. Here are their methods, as you've already seen. Same thing for server, same thing for busboy, host, manager. Here's an API if you want to pause and look at it. This is just what each, attribute means, description for it, how the methods are used, or what it means. Keep in mind this one is abstract and cannot be implemented, but the ones extending it or inheriting from will have all these attributes and methods. You can pause and look at these two. Kind of running out of time, so I just want to keep going quickly. We kind of talked about this. This is just more, well, I wouldn't say normalized, but it's a little more normalized. These are multi-value attributes, so you would have to create a separate, or you would have to expand those. Technical support. Yes, employees will have access to documentation. Combination. No, just online. You can pause this and look at this as well. I'm running out of time. So here's my sprint 2. Here's the finalized prototype. So here's what it would look like when you first log in. You have your username and password. You have your manager login down there. You have forgot password. Forgot password would look something like this. You would input your, email address, and they would email you a link to reset your password. We've all done this before. Here you'll be able to swipe your card, and if you don't have that, you would just sign in. So when we sign in, we're gonna see what a server, what they'll be able to see. All right, so they have their tables here. They can create a new order. They can print a bill. They can view a current order. Here's that notification bell I was talking about. Anything from managers to events and training, outstanding elements will be in the notification bell. So say we wanted to place an order for table 6, click on the table. We have appetizers, entrees, drinks, dessert, appetizers. Here's some celery sticks, entree. And, you just click whatever food the customer asked for, obviously. And here we'll just do Coke and say they wanted a cake. All right. And so you would return, and then that means you have created your order. You would then view your current order, right? Make sure it's correct, and then you would send it to the kitchen. This is the order queue. Everything else is empty. And then you would click your oh goodness. All right, and then you would go back here, and then you would see the order slip. From there, you'd be able to print the bill, and then here you go. Here's your receipt. You'll see that, and then that's pretty much it. And so when you sign out, here's the manager login. The manager will be able to see all of this information as it's updated constantly and frequently. And that's my project.